Today I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's about 128 degrees. That's not exact, I'm kind of ballparking it, but that's what it feels like. This is probably going to be a very short video. I didn't plan on making a video today, but I was driving around Vegas and I was noticing how much stuff has changed since I first came to Vegas, how much stuff is gone. And unfortunately, I missed out on Vegas of the 80s, but when I did first come to Vegas, a lot of stuff from the 80s and 90s was still here, and a lot of it is now gone, and it makes me really sad. And so I'm just going to drive around Vegas and talk about some of the stuff that I remember from when I first came here that no longer exists, and also document some of the hotels and casinos that are still here, because you never know what's going to get torn down next. So let's go see what we can find. All right, we're gonna start off here at the north end of the Strip, Las Vegas Boulevard and Sahara. And you can see the Sahara is still here, but looks nothing like it did when I first started coming to Vegas. I remember it used to have a little roller coaster right there in the front. That's gone. Everything looks modern and fancy now. So I actually didn't realize that the Sahara closed down in 2011, and then after a remodel, it became the SLS Hotel, and then later went back to being the Sahara. Also, it's worth mentioning, like many other old school hotels on the Strip, there were a lot of big names that played at the Sahara. Everyone from Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin to Don Rickles and Judy Garland and Johnny Carson. And also, I didn't realize that this is where the Jerry Lewis Telethon used to take place for a while. You all remember the Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon that took place in the 80s and 90s? I mean, even the Dead Milkmen wrote a song about it. And of course, also when I started coming here, a lot of these big towers weren't here at the time. I mean, some of them were, but there's definitely a lot more big fancy towers. The Bonanza gift shop, world's largest gift shop, that's still here. Now, one hotel casino that's still here is Circus Circus. I feel like that one's never gonna go anywhere, hopefully. Slots of Fun right next door. This is one that I used to go to a lot. Kind of a low budget little casino. They had a lot of games with low minimums, so I liked going there. Brand new Resort World. I believe this is where Stardust and Frontier used to be. Very sad that the Stardust and Frontier got torn down. I have never been inside of Resort World. I believe this just opened recently. But at least Slots of Fun is still there. Now, maybe Frontier was over here. I'm not exactly sure. Now, if any Vegas locals are watching this, I apologize for any minor mistakes. I, of course, am not a local. I'm just going by my memory. So, doing the best I can. I'm not an ordained minister. Treasure Island, still here, but they rebranded it with the TI, trying to make it a little more adult friendly. I don't even know if they still do the show out front with the pirate ships. Funny story about those pirate ships. A friend of mine, and I won't say his name because I don't know if he would want me to, many, many years ago was here. He was very intoxicated. He jumped into the water and swam over to the pirate ship, I believe the one on the left, and climbed up onto it. And when he got up there, security was waiting for him. They took him back into the little holding room, and he told me he was there for a couple of hours, and then they eventually said, "It's your lucky day, it's a really busy night, cops aren't gonna come for a while, so we're gonna let you go, but you are banned from every property, whatever company owns that property." He was banned from all of them. So, fun memory for him. I wasn't there. The Mirage, another classic hotel and casino here on the Strip. They've got the volcano right there. That was always fun to come watch. The Mirage soon will be no more. It's going to be closing soon. Another classic hotel and casino going to be gone forever. We actually came here to see that Beatles show, and when we went to buy tickets, it turned out it was going to be like $600 for the three of us. So we did not go to that show. There's nothing that they could have done on that stage that would have made me walk out saying, hey, that was worth $600. Caesar's Palace still here for now, although it has changed. Now, one thing that has changed here at Caesar's Palace, it was only here for a really short time, but it's now Hell's Kitchen. This used to be Serendipity, which is a restaurant from New York. And my first visit to New York, I went to the Serendipity there, and I was introduced to two of the best desserts I've ever had in my life, the frozen hot chocolate and the peanut butter pie. That's not the name of it, but that's what it is. And I was so excited when they opened a Serendipity here in Vegas, just a few hours from LA, but I guess it didn't do too well because it was only here for a short time and then it became Hell's Kitchen. Okay, a major thing that's changed since I started coming to Vegas, it's over in this area. We're not quite there yet, but I'll start talking about it. Right over here, there used to be a small casino called the Boardwalk, and it was my favorite place to go. It was a very janky little casino. I believe it was this whole area right here. And then it stretched down here. It had a big clown on the front of it. It had a fake roller coaster. And again, like that other casino that I mentioned, it had very low minimum games. Yeah, it was all of this right here was the Boardwalk. And the way that I know that is we used to come out of the side of it and go to this CVS. So right here is where the Boardwalk ended. We'd come to this CVS. And the way that I found that casino is like the second time I ever came to Vegas, my wife and I were coming down this way towards the Boardwalk, and we saw signs for Purple Rain. And I stopped dead in my tracks to see what it was, and it was a Prince cover band playing exclusively at the Boardwalk. And so we went that night, and they were awesome. And it was free. It was in this tiny little bar. It was free to watch them. And after that, every single time we came to Vegas, we went to see Purple Rain. Every time. And eventually they moved to a different, for a while they were at House of Blues. Then they moved to like Planet Hollywood. I'm not sure where they are now, but it's now like 40 or 50 bucks to see Purple Rain. But yeah, those were the days at the Boardwalk. And it had a really nasty buffet upstairs. I remember one time it was like $3 for the buffet. I went there once with friends, and as the guy was giving us our omelet, he said, "Watch out, it's a little bit runny." And so that's the sign of a good omelet. New York, New York, luckily still here. Nothing's really changed on New York, New York. And same with Excalibur. Luckily, those two remain. When those two are gone, I think that's going to be it for me with Vegas, because this is the Vegas that I like. This is when I first started coming to Vegas. This is what I was attracted to. Things like New York, New York, Excalibur, Treasure Island, hotels with a fun theme. And now they're trying to get rid of all that. They want to get rid of the family-friendly themes, have everything be fancy. And yeah, that's just not my, it's not my style. Right across the way, the Tropicana, and I'll turn around and we'll get a better shot of this, but right over there, the Tropicana, another classic hotel and casino that just recently closed down. I want to say a month or two ago. I may be a little off on that, but you can see they're starting to tear it down. Very sad to see this go. Many years ago, I came to Vegas for a friend's bachelor party, and everyone was staying at the Tropicana. I did not stay there, but did meet over here at the Tropicana many times, went swimming at the pool here, and this was the first time I ever saw a bar inside of a swimming pool that you would swim up to, and I thought that was crazy. I'd never seen anything like that. Didn't do me any good because I'm not a drinker, but I still thought it was a cool idea. The Luxor, still there. Haven't been inside for a while, but it's still here, and so is Carrot Top. Luckily, I don't think he's going anywhere. I know a lot of people aren't really, well, you know what? A lot of people must be fans because he's been doing that show here for like 20 plus years. And from what I've heard, it sells out quite often. So Good for you, Carrot Top. That makes up for chairman of the board.
Slurpee cup with a heater on it, once. This way, no brain freeze.
Now MGM still here, but there is a major change. It happened actually a long time ago, but I didn't know it. The first time that I ever came to Vegas, I was really excited to see that giant lion entrance right on the corner. The one that you see in Vegas Vacation. And I came here and I was like, where is it? And I went around the casino looking for it, and turns out they got rid of it a long time ago, but it used to be right there on the corner. I'm really surprised that most of these shops right here have not changed since I first started coming here. Like M&M World, used to come to this little food court, go to the Del Taco, which is still there, surprisingly. A giant Coke bottle. A lot of the stuff here is still the same. All of this is new. I can't remember what was here. I think it was it the Harley Davidson Cafe? I think that was right. I'm not even sure if that's what it was called, but I'll look it up. I'll find a picture and I'll insert it here so you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, now the corner is empty and now they're building something brand new right next to it. Planet Hollywood, when I first started coming to Vegas, this was the Aladdin. Basically the same hotel and casino. They just rethemed it from the Aladdin to Planet Hollywood. Paris is still here. So there are still a lot of the same hotels and casinos that were here when I first started coming. But a lot of the older hotels and casinos, those are the ones that are gone. And a lot of the ones with fun themes. Oh look, the water show at Bellagio is going on right now. I just noticed on this trip, and I don't know how long it's been gone, but Bally's is gone. Used to be right here. The building is still there, and you can still see where it used to say Bally's. But there's now a CVS in front of it, and the Horseshoe Hotel. Flamingo, of course, still here. Now, my wife actually just kind of schooled me. I didn't know this, because like I said, I missed out on 80s Vegas. I didn't come here until like the late 90s, early 2000s. She said she came here as a kid in the late 80s, and there was no New York, New York. There was no Paris. Was there Excalibur?
Yeah.
Okay, there was
No Bellagio.
No. Okay, so a lot of the stuff that I'm mentioning actually, I guess, is 90s Vegas. I apologize for that. And no Wynn, no Encore Hotel. This used to be the Desert Inn. And it's kind of wild how much the view has changed right here. Here is a screenshot from an episode of the A-Team. And that's looking at all of this right here. And you can see there's basically nothing that still looks the same except for Circus Circus. Right here is where Riviera would have been, another classic hotel on the Strip. This is where they had the butt statue that everyone would rub as they went into the casino for luck, right? That was the deal with that statue, am I right? Now this was torn down, and supposedly they're going to be expanding the convention center. So that's what's going to be in place of the Riviera. The Stratosphere is still here. They've gone through a lot of changes on the rides on top. I think the roller coaster is gone. I might be mistaken on that, but I believe the roller coaster is gone, which used to go right around that top part. So that's it. Like I said, just a quick little video as I was, I see that. As I was driving around, I just was getting kind of sad noticing how much has changed. And for those of you that used to come to Vegas in the 80s, the early 80s, mid 80s, probably even more has changed than the Vegas that I was first introduced to. But yeah, so much has changed in such a short time, and I feel like so much more is going to change in the near future. And pretty soon, Vegas is going to be completely unrecognizable. And some of you probably like that. Some of you probably like the newer, more fancy, more adult Vegas. And that's fine. I'm just saying, for me, I really like the more family-oriented, the arcades, the amusement parks, the fun attractions, family attractions that they had, the casinos having fun themes. When MGM used to have the Wizard of Oz walkthrough, they don't have anything like that anymore. And yeah, pretty soon, like I said, Vegas is going to be unrecognizable to me. But we still had a great time. While we were here, we went and saw Penn and Teller. My wife and I saw Penn and Teller, probably almost 20 years ago. And we really enjoyed it then. And we wanted to come back and take our son. And it was a really great show. We all had a blast. And then after Penn and Teller, we took a late night trip over to the Neon Museum. And I was pretty excited about that because that's something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. But for whatever reason, I kept putting it off. And luckily, my wife kind of pushed me to go this time because she really wanted to see it. And it was a lot of fun. And you will be seeing some of the signs from the Neon Museum in some of my upcoming filming location videos. We also went over to Circus Circus and we rode the brand new SpongeBob ride, something that my son really wanted to do because he's a big SpongeBob SquarePants fan. And it was actually a really good ride. Although, in my opinion, it was a little bit pricey. For the two of us to ride, it was $20. And it's your typical, it's like Toy Story. If you've ever been on Toy Story at Disneyland, it's a slow moving, dark ride where you're shooting stuff that's on screens. But like I said, it was really fun. It was done really well. They had different odors in there. Like there was one part where there was cotton candy in the room and it smelled like cotton candy. There was another part where SpongeBob was cooking up Krabby Patties and it was supposed to smell like Krabby Patties, whatever those smell like. So yeah, it was a fun ride, just a little bit pricey. Any SpongeBob fans out there, I would recommend checking it out. If you don't mind paying the price, I think you'll enjoy the ride. And another thing that my son really wanted to do was Twilight Zone mini golf. He's also a big Twilight Zone fan. And unfortunately, we did make it over to the Twilight Zone mini golf, but we didn't know that you were supposed to make a reservation, and it was like a 45-minute wait to play mini golf. So we decided not to wait around, but we are definitely going to do that next time because it looked like a lot of fun. I felt really bad that we weren't able to play Twilight Zone mini golf, so I went back to the world's largest gift shop because my son, for whatever reason, well, because he's a weirdo, he really wanted to get a pair of Elvis sunglasses with built-in sideburns. As far as I know, he's not an Elvis fan. I'm not an Elvis fan. I think he just wanted to have sideburns. So I went back to the world's largest gift shop and got him a pair of the Elvis sunglasses. All right, that's going to do it for this little trip to Vegas. I have now got to get back to Los Angeles where I belong. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.